What's up, Evening Owl, soaring in. Welcome to Week 2 of Inktober. They hiked from the airport into the Loot Desert. They had a long way to their next destination, a small cargo plane. They had hoped the food in their carry-on would sustain them. The sun beat down on them. They were nearly there, nearly safe. They run out of food and they underestimate how much water they would need. The heat was relentless, and no life could be found around them. No teeth were around, at least there was one silver lining. Sweat rolls down their skin in cool streams, only to warm up and stick to them like warm syrup. They were torrid to the core. Is this how they die? Just a little longer, and they'll be on their way to finding the truth. A nomadic Bakhatayari tribe spot a small cargo plane in the distance. They don't usually see people on their travels. They didn't know if this plane was there for them or just stopping by for resupply. When they did see people, they had tails of teeth sprouting from nowhere. They had never seen the teeth themselves, but so many people from different places can't be lying. They'd wonder if the people on this plane had ever seen them. They would gladly hear stories of their experiences. They loved hearing recollections from different people. Their travels leave them tired, and having entertainment while resting is always welcome. They walk towards the aircraft to get more information. Out comes the protagonist. They see that they're hungry, thirsty, and tired. They offer to let them spend the night with them. After their harrowing journey, the protagonist was offered dinner and snacks. For dessert, they all had yogurt, which cultured as the Bakhatayari walked through the desert. It only took a small amount of yogurt to make a new batch. There was a language barrier, but that didn't stop the kindness extended to them. They would have loved to travel with them, to get away from it all. But what about everyone else? They would be left with the teeth. Why weren't they here? Did the sands cover them? Or maybe there aren't enough people? The climate? There were passing towns that had the teeth, so it can't be that. Maybe it had something to do with the population. The desert was remote besides everyone at the camp. The children were asleep in their tents. The adults laughed and conversed with each other around the fire. Our protagonist just sits and watches. They can't remember when they last witnessed such a lively atmosphere. The protagonist wakes up and watches the horizon. The sunrise made the sand glimmer and glisten. The sky was so different without light pollution. They decide to leave before everyone else wakes up. They gather some firewood and leave it as a token of gratitude. They roam from the desert into a nearby city. They arrive in Sananj. The teeth were here, so they must be tied up with the population. But the biggest teeth show up on businesses, not houses. So if they were tied to how many people were there, that doesn't make any sense. But businesses do have a lot of money coming in. It must be tied to that. The teeth were drawn to money. But why? Why punish everyone stuck in their circumstances? It seems unfair to stick people with the maintenance of these things. And that was the end of Week 2 of Inktober. Thanks for stopping by. You feathers help me fly.